Hello and welcome back to Smart Marketing, everyone. And in this video, we're going to talk about making money online and ChatGPT and using GPTs. Now, in the last video, I said we're going to jump into making GPTs. However, I also said this is going to be a lowest common denominator approach, that people that don't know anything, you've got a computer, you can use a web browser, you use email, you may have some basic knowledge, Microsoft Office, Word, PowerPoint, etc., but no real extreme computer skills required to get into this process and to utilize the other softwares that we cover in this channel as your consciousness begins to expand with the ideas and possibilities that are available to us. So, that being said, this is Smart Marketing. I'm your host, Big Dom. Let's get started. Now, one of the things that I said this course is going to emphasize, or the approach that we're going to take is, I'm not going to teach you a specific way to make money, but rather teach you different ways to think about how to make money and how you're going to bring your own skill sets into it. ChatGPT is going to be our core tool. But, 30 years ago when computers came out, a computer was pretty much useless unless you had the right kind of software to run on it, like an Excel spreadsheet. These were the core technologies that changed the world. And now everybody uses Microsoft Office, right? But this is the Microsoft Office of the next century, the next technology that really makes computers a game changer, that allows you to really go up to your computer and talk to it in a human way and allow it to extrapolate and understand what you're saying and what you want and generate and create that for you. But in that process, may not always have what it needs. So we need to learn more about it, because how are we going to make money with a tool if we don't know what this tool can do? So one of the first things we should talk about is that recently they just added memory to this, and memory and new controls for ChatGPT. And this is available for all Plus users, but it says here, while it's available to Plus users, except those in Europe and Korea currently. But it is coming. So, what is memory? Well, if we come over here and we go to our settings, you click your settings, you should have personalization. If you don't have it, it's because you're not on the Plus plan yet, or it hasn't reached you, but it should be within days. Okay? And what we want is we want this memory turned on. And there's nothing in here yet because I haven't added any memory, but now I can add memory to this, okay? By telling it and giving it specific instructions. In a sense, I'm turning ChatGPT into my personal GPT to learn from all the things that I do on a daily basis and make those things go quicker. So let's look at an example of what I might do with this. Okay, what we want to do here is go back to the original ChatGPT prompt, and I'm going to give it some instruction. And what I'm telling it here is every time I write blog this, all caps, one word with quotes after it, I want you to write a blog from the video transcript that I supply. Keep it professional and friendly. Use H1, H2, and H3 tags and optimize for SEO. Okay? So let's save that in there. Okay? Now, let me, and see it's telling me, memory added, and we can manage our memory. So now I've built that option in. Now I want to go to my video here, and I was able to, trigger my transcript down below. In case you're just curious, you expand your description, and let's see. I think I can, yes, get rid of my timestamps. And now, let me just, I guess, I can scroll down, select all that, copy, make sure I didn't miss it, copy, okay. Now I'm coming back over here, I'm going to write blog this and paste it in. Boom! Now, Shazam! Let's pause the video here. Let me let this thing finish its output, and then let's just come back. Now, for just the first run, and this just really being an outline, it's an hour-long video, and you would think maybe I would have got some more info out of it, but a lot of it is just, power talk where I'm trying to motivate you, and a lot of that motivational speech I can imagine is not necessarily going to make for a good article. But I've got the essence of something here that I could start with or expand on. Or I could go back and change the instruction and tell it to try to expand on certain things based on what's in the video and take it one piece at a time, as I've demonstrated in other videos. Another product you want to be using is Notepad++, which is completely free. So I'll take this output, slap it into here. This way I've got the, the whole thing. You could use Microsoft Word, but, a lot of those softwares, they're clunky. This is fast loading and light and powerful, and you can do other things. So I can come back. Now I've got the copy, and I could just say, I need this to expand on this, and I can go back in and tell it to expand on, the paragraph about different experience levels, and, really kind of work through it, or if I want to do more. However, all I really want to do is take this output and put it on a web page on my smart marketing website and put the video on it and use it for a little SEO purposes. That's really it. So just a good use here. So on how the memory aspect works, how we can actually train memory into our actual usage of this, because I'm going to be doing a lot of things like this. So I want to be able to just go, hey, blog this. And I will expand on that with further instructions. But I'm starting with a clean slate because we're doing this lowest common denominator for everybody. I don't want you confused by a bunch of other information. I want you to see I got nothing and I start with nothing and I build up with that. And I can give it much more detailed instructions about how to handle more text or some other things. But in this video, I want to move on because now what I want to do is take you through a range of GPTs, their functionality, and how that will inspire you, and you will also begin to use them in your daily processes with this and the work that you're imagining that you might do or create or make money from. So let's take a look at that. Now let's look at one of my favorite research tools, Consensus. Consensus is your AI research assistant. Search 200,000 academic papers from Consensus. Get science-based answers and draft content with accurate citations. Now, I've already found multiple uses for this, but when I originally got going with it, my mom died recently, but prior to that, she had suffered several strokes that left her somewhat debilitated mentally. She was having memory issues, bouts of dementia, and of course, after my dad had died a year and a half earlier, I really tried to step in and make things, every meal, delicious and a blue zone meal. And what I was able to do with this tool was to really look up what are some of the best foods that help prevent the onset of Alzheimer's. And let's try a few things, because for a simple example, you can see here, foods that may inhibit the advancements of Alzheimer's. And this would give me great information. But of course, I could really delve into things much deeper. Like, I got a lot of brain health magazines that were coming in. So we were constantly reading articles, and I follow a lot of science on one of my YouTube channels. So it's just really all types of science, brain health, things that I could find that were useful. And of course, super healthy cooking, because here every day, every morning was like breakfast at the diner, an Italian deli for lunch, and fine food for dinner. Because not only did I want it to be healthy, but I wanted it to be delicious. And I'm, come from a family of cooks, so really tried to make my mom's final time, as best as it could be. And having good research tools that I could really look up without having to go, fishing all over Google and get it right from the raw data was extremely useful to me. And of course, there's a lot of other uses that there's scientific data in here that you might find useful for a myriad of projects, whatever your background. ChatGPT can also chart data. So let me show you this real world example of some things that I had to do in my world. Now, I use Ahrefs quite a bit, and I've got a large package because I do a lot of keyword research. So take a look up here. Notice how I search wildcard, star, services. So this way I get all of the top phrases that are searched with the second word is services. See that? And it's a pretty large list. To have to click through it, would be mission impossible. But what I can do now is I can export up to 5,000. And I find the best thing is to do the CSV for Excel and then actually convert the file to an Excel. Oh, looks like I'm going to have to pause the video. I got the landscaper at the window. All right, now that we got the knucklehead away from my window, let's pick up where I left off. I'm going to take 5,000, and like I said, the best format is for Excel, because what I have to do here is once I export this, it's going to be a CSV, but you're going to need to open it up in Excel and then save it as an Excel project, because I found the other formats, it just wasn't really taking them well as far as, when I entered them in. So I had to, you see here with the wildcard services file spreadsheet, I had to put it in with the Excel because it would error out. So, and sometimes you see this, you get these error analyzing, but look, after you load it, you want to tell it, clean this data and get it ready for analysis. This way, once it's ready, then you can ask it questions and it'll give you this output. So what did I do? I said, show the most valuable two-word phrases based on an overlap and chart them in ascending order. Okay? And look what it gave me. Near me, services near. Things you might not think about like that as a phrase, because really it's part of a two-word phrase. Cleaning services, financial, streaming, etc., etc. So I can actually see what the top 10. I could have said 20, 30, 40. Now I also have clients that have very large phrase tracking lists. Unfortunately, Ahrefs does not capture everything, but I have multiple resources to extrapolate data. So let's just take a look at some things I extrapolated with data. I took my client's organic keyword list and converted it, ran it through the process, and said, show the top 20 most valuable two-word phrases based on overlap and chart them in ascending order, because a lot of his search phrases are actually 3 words. Okay? But this really broke it down very nicely for the top ones that he was showing up for. A few things for trade show posts. So then I was able to go back and say, give me the top 20 3-word phrases based on overlap. Because again, sometimes the searches are much more lengthy and involved because these are scientists, engineers, and researchers. And again, it gave me really good insights into some of my top phrases. And of course, off this screen, I did a lot of other searches with other contact with companies. Looking at, now this is a company I'm monitoring that is considering coming back to me because they're failing in lead generation. And so I was doing some analysis on their keyword tracking. But the point is, I was able to easily extrapolate this data right from Ahrefs. Any one of these things. I can take, now of course the data is much larger. Ahrefs has a limitation, otherwise I got to pay more money if I want to download more than 5,000 at a time. And even that I have some limitation, I think up to 250,000. Now I can download this client who recently took a big hit. He was forced to dump his entire product line and reload with a new product line. So, here's my CSV. Let me right click on it. Open with Excel. See that? Because we need Excel here. And then what I need to do is I need to save it as an Excel. Okay? So what we got to do here is change it to Excel here, template. That works, okay? And then I want to browse. Okay, let's fast forward to success, where I got my file loaded in my data sets, keywords, say, please clean data before analysis. And I probably should tell this anytime I load an Excel file that it should automatically clean it before analysis. Okay, so let's let it go, and then I can let this knucklehead finish mowing my lawn by the window. Okay, now that ChatGPT did the nasty with my Excel file and cleaned it up, let's give it this instruction. Now chart the top 20 two-word phrases that appear even in overlapping 3-word or more phrases, okay? Now, this is a short list. This client's only got just under 200 to analyze, but understand, I got clients with 1,000, 700, 800. So when I really want to get into some analysis, I can really break down some numbers. But Ahrefs is not the best for those larger ones. I tend to get those data sheets out of Advanced Web Ranking, which is the real tool. But I'm finding new ways to find insights and innovatively report things to my clients that is very impressive. So let's take a look, because this is a baby shopping site. And look what it gave us. Milk bath, car seat, how to for baby. These are clues that I'm going to want to take a look at closer, you know. But they all, I can see they all revolve around keywords that are being driven by anchor text in backlinking campaigns. So already I can begin to see that. And with a little more resource here, look, see, nice, gives me the chart. We can say, give me, let me take that phrase I pasted. Because what I really want to maybe see is look at it a different way. And say, now chart the top 30 one word. I want to see the single most important word. And that really kind of matters with his keyword phrases, because there's things like, whether it's baby, toys, you know, humidifiers, we'll see what it gives back to us in this result. But these are just simple approaches for me to take a much larger file and extrapolate things when I'm trying to think, you know, at a higher level about what's going on with search results. Because these are things I'm often theorizing about in my mind and manipulating the data as much as possible on Ahrefs. But then I realized there's so much other ways to get what I want by simply pulling out that data file, loading it up into ChatGPT, and then asking it to show me what I want in the way that I can reason out in my mind. And here, again, more clues, and then I'll go to third words. But this list is small, it's only less than 200, so there's not a lot for me to extrapolate mentally. But I just wanted you to see just how really awesome this can be for using it to analyze data of all sorts and types. Now, right now, I know there's some of you watching this video and you're thinking to yourself, yes, I have tons of data in Excel spreadsheets or CSVs, but I'm not an Excel master. Like myself, I cannot manipulate Excel and extrapolate data from it. I used to work with a guy who was just fiendishly brilliant with it, because he could analyze all types of data from the company and look for ways to save money, better manage hours, screw the employees over. You know, he was that guy, but he was brilliant at it. Now, I lack that expertise. It's not something that's part of my daily routine, but many times in the way that I'm analyzing data, I realize I wish I could do that. Now, of course, Ahrefs and my other external trackings like Advanced Web Ranking, they have capabilities built in that allow me to manipulate data many ways. However, nothing is as powerful as this, that you can now take any type of data file, load it into ChatGPT, and ask it questions that you would not be able to do unless you had advanced skill sets using Excel and how to manipulate that data and extrapolate different things out of it. Now you could just load it into ChatGPT, clean it up, and ask it to give you what you want, and you could chart it or export it. Understand? Getting a sense of how you could just now have a whole new power tool at your resource with data files. What skill set or talent can you bring to bear with that? Let's move on. Okay, I need to write a blog for my client, a fluff piece that's going to rank well, because he just added a new section for sensory toys for kids, right? So, and this was at my direction. There's a lot of sensory related toy searches, but now we're going to go back to our GPT. And where am I? Right for me. This is a really nice blogging plugin, and it claims it can write a 3,000 word blog post, okay? And This actually gives an example. We could click it, but that's not really what we want. We want to do our own. So I want to blog. Well, I wonder. Let's just try. I want to pass my blog this command. No, that won't work. My bad. Okay. Write a 2,000 word blog about sensory toys for kids and use keywords for SEO. Hang on, let's go back here. Like sensory toys, and probably what I really want to do is do this. Break my sensory toys down and see what comes up there. Let's just see if we get a little bit of a longer list. Oh, look at that. And I actually do. And there's some good stuff here that I could actually say, yeah, kids sensory toys. I could give it very specific ones here for SEO, like kids sensory toys, and just copy and paste a few out of here. Sensory toys for especially these top searches. Sensory toys for enthusiastic kids. Now, see how you really start to refine things from the more common examples you'll see on YouTube. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Sensory toys for kids with autism. Okay. And best sensory toys. Sensory toys for older kids. That's something useful potentially. And Control V can also be topics. Create a features or bullet lists. And write it from the perspective of personal experience. So let's see how that goes. Boom! I'll pause the video and let's come back, although I should have fast-tracked through this write-up. Oh, look at that. Introduction, 150 words. Well, we're off to a good start. Let's not pause the video. Let's watch. Understanding sensory toys, 350 words. Very nice. Continue. Continue. Yes. Important for children's sensory needs. There goes our bullet list. Features. Best sensory toy for kids, 500 words. Come on, these are our phrases, everyone. Let's take a look. For older kids, 8 to 12. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Very nice. Oh, it's going. It's going. Top picks. Look at this. Home run. Now, look how easy and quickly this went through. And this is going to be an article that I could actually beef up very easily by making a few edits, and those would be like even search and replace words to put some emphasis on products that I will actually link to from this article that are on his shopping site. Understand? That's a very, very nice look. Here, I can continue. We can continue generating. Holy mackerel. Let's see what it does. It adds on to the conclusion. Oh, okay. I guess that's all I needed to go. Now this is a really, really decent little thing here. And I could take a lot of these topics and, like I said, what I like to do Let's take the whole thing out, get it into my trusty Notepad Plus, where from here, okay, and now I need 5 titles. 5 title ideas for this blog. Very nice. Soothing, stimulating, enforcing, and oh, let me just look here. Did it write from personal experience? Yeah, no, actually it didn't. So that's one point it failed on. We didn't get that personal experience. That's something I like to get in there. But sometimes we need to work those aspects a little bit better. But we got some pretty nice stuff here. And I've got the basis for a blog. And then what I would do is go back and say, yeah, I want more about this. And what I'm actually going to do is I will go to his site, look at the products that are listed now under his new category page of sensory toys, and look for the opportunities to weave aspects of those products into this blog and then link directly to them. But I'm off and running, and in another like 30 minutes or so, I'd have a killer blog, be able to create some images for him from my repository. I use several services that I pay for annually, like Envato Elements, get a few images, bada bing, bada boom, and we've got a beautiful blog ready to go. Now guys, here's a little power tip. May not be 100% ethical, but for those who are starting on a low budget, if you've got an Android device and an SD card, I happen to have a Galaxy 7 Tab, which one of my reasons for having this is the large one, was to be a reader, and I use BitTorrent Pro. And then what I do is go on Pirate Bay and I download thousands of ebooks. Anytime I need an ebook, I've got a vast collection. I probably have over 5,000 programming books. Python, JavaScript, every freaking thing under the sun. And now, what can I do with those? Well, I could take all of my Python books that I have, and many are in PDF or they're in ebook format, and I can load them right into a GPT that I'm going to program. See where I'm going? So a little tip, you got an Android device, an SD card, you can pretty safely download all kinds of ebooks, and that's valuable knowledge and resources that you may be able to take and use and bring to some application. Of course, the ones that you do, and if you're going to make money, you should actually buy those books and support the authors whose information, back the products that you're going to build with them. But that's a really good way for you to cut a few corners and get a tremendous amount of data to use for GPTs. Now, when you come to explore GPTs, they're going to give you some of the best stuff right up front that you can go through. And, there's show more options. And look, when we get up here at the top, see, you can break them into categories. Dall-E, which is all graphics creating, writing, productivity, research and analysis, programming, education, and lifestyle. So, guys, there's a lot to explore to see what kind of things this can do. So when we get to Dall-E, I want to do some photorealistic. In fact, I gave this some stuff the other day that should be still in here. Selfie into Pixar. Oh, look, and these were some shots of me, and look what it did. Oh, and here's the one I liked. See? So I don't waste your time. I took a bunch of my dopey shots that I make for YouTube, and I said, what I need to do is take some of these, and I want to cartoonerize myself and get something that looks right. But see, a lot of hit or miss going on. Didn't really look like me. Getting a little closer. Now, that might have worked, but I found like this really gave me the right sense of the Pixar, what I wanted. My face should have been a little bit chubbier, a little, that Mr. Invincible feel that, you get with that kind of a Pixar cartoon. And that's what I'm going for. I want to make some different types of avatars of myself, but keep them common that I'm working on so I can take them to YouTube. So you understand, you can research the internet with this. You can use specific GPTs and go and dig deeper now and look at some of the functionality and think about the ideas of what you're going to be able to do and bring. Because there isn't a single thing that you're going to get involved in Whether you're making a YouTube video, you may use this to write the script, the description, the title, create the thumbnail. I mean, the possibilities are endless. But this basic technology, this ChatGPT Plus that we're paying $20 a month, is a $20,000 a month employee. Understand that that's the type of production we're going to get out of it. Now, we'll wrap this video up right here because I want to keep these at 30 minutes. I want to keep your interest peaked. I want to keep it moving. But of course, you have homework. Your homework is to go through many of these GPTs. And if you haven't gotten the GPT Plus yet, you need to do that yesterday. Go through many of these and look and get inspired at the possibilities of what you can do, what you already know, what you can bring to this tool. Because as I'm sure you're thinking right now, what data files do I have? What ebooks do I have? What knowledge can I bring and build to this platform? Start building the arsenal of tools that are going to be part of your armaments for the real warfare of making money down the road. So review, and you should also maybe do a little YouTube, look at some videos, guys showing their top 10 or 15 or 50 GPTs. A lot of this stuff sometimes is crap or has no use for us, but many times we'll find a few rare gems in those videos. So that's it for this. And then next video, we'll get into some much more interesting aspects and keep it moving quickly. That's it for today, guys. Don't forget to follow and give us a like if you want to see more great videos like this one. Thanks and have a great day.